Warm greetings from the High 10. It is Saturday, February 1st, 2020. Thanks for joining me. I want to bring you a story pertaining to Mr. Harvey Weinstein and the trial that is taking place at the current moment. And this is brought to you by Fox Business. Harvey Weinstein accuser, mogul lacks male genitalia. Weinstein reportedly lowered his head as she made the shocking claim. One of Harvey Weinstein's accusers testified in New York court on Friday that the disgraced movie mogul is intersex and therefore lacks certain male genitalia, according to a report. Jessica Mann, who accused Weinstein of raping her in a hotel room in 2013 when she was a budding actress, made the shocking claim during her testimony in the former filmmaker's ongoing rape and sexual assault trial, which is reaching the conclusion of its second week, Vulture reported. Also, on someone's Instagram page, it says, as Mann testified, several people in the courtroom, rows reserved for Weinstein's team, laughed. And this is when the Weinstein accuser said that Mr. Weinstein has no testicles. The first time I saw him fully naked, she told the court, according to the report, I thought he was deformed and intersex. He does not have testicles, and it appears that he has a vagina. Weinstein reportedly lowered his head as she made the claim on the stand. It was very bad, she said. When asked to describe his hygiene, according to the report, he smelled like shit. Like poop. He was just dirty. He just was dirty, Mann's testimony was expected to be a pivotal part of Weinstein's trial, which is slated to last 2 to 4 more weeks. On Monday, jurors heard from the other woman whose allegations have led to charges in the New York case. Mimi Halili, a former production assistant for Project Runway, testified that Weinstein forcibly performed oral sex on her in 2006. Weinstein has insisted any sexual encounters were consensual. Two other accusers whose allegations are not part of the criminal charges against Weinstein also testified this week were called by prosecutors to bolster their case that he has violated many women in the same manner over the years. Last week, Sopranos actress Annabella Sciorra testified that Weinstein overpowered and raped her after barging in on her apartment in the mid-1990s. That allegation is outside the statute of limitations, but it's part of the prosecutor's strategy to show that the powerful Hollywood mogul had a habit of preying on women. Weinstein defense grilled Sciorra, why didn't you go to De Niro or Stallone? In questioning those women, Weinstein's lawyers also took aim at their continued interactions with him, suggesting that a follow-up meeting or communication with Weinstein was a sign that nothing untoward had happened. Prosecutor Megan Haas previously said Mann, whom she did not specifically identify at the time, and Weinstein met at a Hollywood party in February 2013, and Weinstein appeared to take an instant liking to her. They had several follow-up meetings, ostensibly to talk about her career, but things turned more and more sexual, the prosecutor said. On the day of the alleged rape, Haas said the woman and her actress roommate were supposed to meet Weinstein for breakfast, but instead the woman and Weinstein got into a heated confrontation that he demanded they finish in his room. There, Haas said Weinstein started ripping the woman's clothes off and raped her. The prosecutor said Weinstein raped the woman again in November of 2013 when she was working as a hairdresser and went to cut his hair. If he heard the word no, it was like a trigger for him, she said during the testimony. But Mann explained Friday she feared what he would do if she ended what she described as a degrading relationship with him. I thought he was going to hurt my father, she said, according to the Vulture report. He said to me that he had guys with bats. The 34-year-old woman's allegations form a basis for the most serious charges against the former Hollywood tycoon who became one of the Me Too movement's top targets. He is charged with raping her in 2013 and sexually assaulting Halili in 2006. A conviction could put him behind bars for the rest of his life. The Associated Press contributed to this report. Now, what I have a problem with in this defense attorney's statements was telling Ms. Sciorra, the actress, that she should have called Stallone or De Niro. What were they supposed to do? Beat him up? Yeah, we see now that he needed a whooping by somebody. Since the law couldn't do anything and the ladies were afraid to call the police, But that's really what Harvey Weinstein needs, is a good whooping, a good beating. If he did actually threaten this lady, telling her he had people with bats, that's exactly what he needed. Somebody to come beat the hell out of him. Because you see, it was whispered and talked about amongst people in Hollywood, New York, that Harvey Weinstein had this behavior. He was known for coming on to women, making sexual overt advances. That was said by several people. A lot of people knew about it. And one actress' boyfriend made a comment to him, and he stopped bothering that young lady. Famous actress, famous actor. Everybody knows who they are. But the point is, maybe that's what he needed, was for a male to confront him and tell him, hey, buddy, we know what you're doing. We know you think you got the big head here in Hollywood, woo, 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 but what you're doing is wrong and it's foul and it's rank, and you're going to stop. You might have a little nasty accident the next time. You see, sometimes you have to put the fear of God in people, make them stop doing crazy things. Because as you see, he continued this for a very long time. And I've heard of this behavior with photographers and models. So many models have gone to their shoots to be harassed sexually, groped, and God forbid, raped. And this was a common thing in the model industry. I've heard numerous models say that. They hated to even go to a shoot knowing a certain photographer would be over the shoot, because that person had a reputation for lewd behavior. Now, the topper. The fact that this lady testified that Mr. Harvey Weinstein, he was smelly and gross, and that he smelled like poop, I'm dumbfounded. And the fact that raped one forcibly by oral sex, that does not shock me. That doesn't shock me, because a lot of men who can't perform properly or cannot get an erection, they would prefer oral sex because their body functions doesn't work. Male part is not working. So they would prefer oral sex. But when that one lady said that he smelled terribly and looked like he had a vagina down there and no testicles, I was done. I was like, wow. And of course, he is a big guy. In weight, I mean. Fatty. I'll let you do the rest on that one. Mercy. And that's probably what he preferred, was the oil copulation instead of doing anything else, because he couldn't really perform down there. So he's just really a disgusting pig. And looking at his picture, if you go to the Fox Business and you see the picture of him, you can see a very smaller Mr. Harvey Weinstein. You can see a disheveled looking Mr. Weinstein. His collar is not straightened. It's wrinkled looking with the tie. He looks a hot mess. It's amazing how when things go down for a person, that whole highfalutin attitude and demeanor and appearance, it goes down the hill as well. I don't feel anything for him. But as for the lady who went back to cut his hair, I do have a problem with that. Because if he raped you in a said place, wherever it took place, I would not have gone back to cut his hair. I don't care who summons me to cut his hair. Because in the end, this is how he has been able to get away with this. Sending people to go ask somebody for this or that person. You should have kindly told the person, no thank you, I'll pass. And that would have been the end of the discussion, and I would have never mummed another word about it. And they wouldn't have got another word out about it. You see, you should have showed him who was boss. I would have never went to cut his hair. You think I'm going to go back in a room with someone who raped me, and now I'm getting ready to cut your hair? I don't care what he said in the last sexual assault of threatening me, my father, whoever. I would have never gone back in a room alone with him. And those ladies who went back with him after seeing him being sexually overt in his wording, I mean, you know what time of day it is. Seriously, should have never went back around him. And yes, I heard that a lot of women's careers halted because of Harvey Weinstein's overt action, that they were in rooms with him alone, he made passes, whatever he said or did, and they never went back because they didn't want to deal with him. And maybe their career didn't take off, but at least they had dignity and self-respect about themselves, and they didn't want to end up becoming a statistic. And I'm not trying to down the other women, but everybody is going to look at you some type of way if you went back dealing with him in any form or fashion, if he raped you and you went back around him, because I would find that just disturbing to go back around someone who sexually assaulted me. You know, people will judge you if you go around someone who's physically abused you. They'll highly judge you. So now imagine being raped by that person and you go back around them. Oh yeah, the daggers are going to come out. I will see how this pans out with this trial, week 2. I will bring you an update to the said information. But it's not looking good for Mr. Weinstein. He looks a hot mess, and I won't doubt that. He will be sitting in a little cell where he'll probably shrivel up inside of there. I mean, I'm just keeping it real. It's sad it had to come to this, but I don't feel anything for him because he's too old for that, and there was no need for that type of behavior. No need at all. It's a coward's way. Like and share, drop your comments below, and thanks for joining me. You all have a safe weekend out there. Bye-bye.